In 2024, Callaway had big things to follow in the paradigm, but with 2025 just around the corner, we have a first look at the 2025 lineup. And the first thing we need to talk about is putters and what they have changed and where they are going into next year. And we have 3 new options to their AI lineup, and that's what we need to talk about. But what have they changed? And guys, if you're new to the channel, then welcome to this YouTube channel. What are you looking forward to the most in 2025? Are you looking for a new driver? Are you looking for a new putter? Are you looking for new irons and wedges? Get in those comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us on the journey to 50,000. And guys, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, thank you for your support in all the years, or this year whenever you joined us. What do you want to see going forward? What are you looking forward to? What do you want to see mid-handicap Dave get in his hands going into next year? And you'll see straight away they have gone for a square to square putter, so very similar to putters that have come out in recent months and recent years in regards to Lab and regards to PXG with their Allen putter. So you can see straight away there, for me, one big thing, Callaway have joined that party. They've seen how well Lab have done, and we've seen the Lab putters over the last couple of months, but for me, we now have a more normal looking putter. So we know when we talk about zero torque or lie angle balance putters, they often look extremely different behind the golf ball. But Callaway have brought 3 to the range, 3 different looks, 3 more standard looks. So how will they perform? And today we are going to test them out here on Lindrick on the greens. We're also going to get the data. I have got the data with these putters, and we are going to compare it to a Mez 1 putter. We all know Mez is the most recognised putters in this area of the game, in the area of putting. For me, that swings and feels exactly what you would expect from an AI putter. Again, looks different behind the golf ball. I certainly can feel like I can see a lot more of the face, which I'll show you with some close-ups shortly, but it does swing just as good as that Lab putter. But obviously, who's it going to help? And what other shapes do they have? Now the second shape up is one that is extremely popular with Odyssey users. The number 7, a classic putter from Odyssey that has been on the lineup for many years, but now you can see looks slightly different. We do have that shaft obviously a little bit set back in that head, again just to get more control of that face angle. And this is where, for me, if you're not a great putter, if you're not confident, this is where this putter could potentially obviously help you out, help you hole a few more shorter putts, keeping that face square. I can get a good roll straight around there. I don't feel like this, it's a lot harder to get this to deviate, and if you're somebody who looks down at your putter head and sees it moves all over, then this could be arranged square to square, zero torque, lie angle balance, could be something for you. Obviously down behind the golf ball now, more traditional look. Again, the white insert on the face does certainly stand out. And again, is that maybe the grip on here? Again, sometimes with the Mez putters, with the SICK putters, they do have a bit of taper to those grips. That could be something that they might bring in. But very easy to get rolling well. I feel like that face, I have a lot more control of it. It'll be interesting to see the numbers shortly. But again, AI looks on here, so we know we've got the navy, we've got plenty of lines on the bottom of this putter. We saw with the Jailbird, they also have that Versa technology that they did have on the standard Jailbird, which does help you line, obviously, the ball up a little bit better, get your leading edge square. Can we make it 3 for 3? And you might say tour players from there are expected to hold them, but again, mid-handicap golfers, high-handicap golfers, how many of those do you get left with and do you miss? But that's a number 7, that's a Jailbird, 2 of the most popular putters. But what else have they brought out? And the final putter they have brought out is a double wide putter. So you can see again, looks very much like a traditional centre shaft. I had a number 2 with this centre shafted back in the day, but a different looking putter. Again, for me, this one, extremely long from the heel to toe. So obviously confidence inspiring down behind the golf ball. It does feel like you've got a lot of face to work with. Still has the white hot insert. But this is where we're testing different distances, so how can we control pace? Are these putters going to be better for us starting the ball on line? And for me here, can it stop me from 3 putting? Again, swings nicely there. A little bit short, but bang on line, again inside tour average there. Again, feels consistent off the face. We can see there a little bit closer, just a little bit short. Green's rolling fantastic here for very close to December. And again, I've just adjusted the read there. 3 with the inside tour average. Can I hold those out? Is that the big question? And you'll see there a nice tap in for the first one. Again, can we now hole out with these two here? These are the putts that you get left with. You might have hit a great shot into this par 3, the third hole here at Lindrick, and then from there you end up 3-putting, but we take our time. Will this square to square technology help me? Certainly feels easy to get it rolling, nice and end over end. Final one. And that would have got my percentages down, that would have got my stats down. So far so good, but let's jump into the studio at Waterfront and let's see which one out of the 3 for numbers is the best. For me, the Jailbird sits the best behind the golf ball. The number 7 looks a little bit bigger, and this one looks even bigger than the number 7. So it'll be interesting to see which one will come out on top before we compare it to that lab putter. So you'll see on screen now, if we talk averages before we go over to the double wide putter, if we're talking about this number 7, consistency, face is open on average, nearly 2 degrees open. Path is pretty good out to in, so a little bit left. We're hitting up nicely on there, although it doesn't sit perfect to the ground. Again, tempo and everything's good. In regards to hole inputs, it did work pretty well, but for me, obviously 2 degrees open, if I'm 2 degrees open, that potentially from 10 feet would miss the hole on a straight putt quite convincingly. Right, so in with a double wide, so interesting numbers there. And again, for me, this putter straight away behind, obviously looks extremely long from toe to heel. Again, I feel like I've got to get a little bit taller to these putters. So you'll see on screen, average wise for the double wide, a little bit better. So path into out with this one, 0.5. Face 1.3 open, so not as open with this, a little bit more control. And the lie angle a little bit better. Still hitting up, still hitting a little bit of loft off there. And we can see consistency wise, I hold all of those putts. So straight away there, again, performance wise in here on the putting green, numbers are pretty good. The greens are inside tour average. But let's go to the one that I think looked the best and swung the best. Right, so Jailbird in last, and again, I think this will be the most popular with people buying these putters. Again, Versa technology on this putter. So again, you can see that it's got the blue on there, which was the AI colour. We see then it goes to white. And again, that's just to help you square it up. So technology-wise, it's not just obviously now a square-to-square putter. It does still have the Versa technology in there. Let's have a look at those averages. Let's see which one works out the best. Will it be the Jailbird, or maybe will it be the double wide? So you'll see from the averages on the screen that you will see actually face and path wise, this didn't perform as good as the double wide. So for me, over the ball, it did feel like it did swing a little bit better, but numbers are proving me wrong. So again, numbers wise, that will be sending me towards the double wide, but let's get back outside. Let's see how it compares to the Mez putter. After all, we know that was where these all started. And again, if I address the ball there in a normal position, you can see I can see a lot of that white top face. To get rid of that, I have to put a lot of forward shaft lean on that putter, whereas with the Mez, I feel like it just sits a little bit square. Is that because it's a white insert? But again, interesting that this design was the best performing inside. Again, if I sit that Mez down in a normal position, I don't feel like I can see any of the face there, which for me does sit a little bit nicer behind the golf ball. And also this grip is a little bit tapered, that it points straight down towards that leading edge, as we can see there. It's a bit thicker on that left hand side. For me, very interested inside that obviously performance wise the Lab still performed better. And again, even with numbers wise, I was surprised that it fitted me into this. Is this because when I first started playing as a junior I had a centered shafted number 2 putter? But again, this one performed numbers wise the best. Not as good as the Lab. I do certainly feel it's much easier to get that ball starting on line. You don't see as much going on with the stroke, but percentage wise we are 75% from this distance. But let's see what this Mez 1 can do, because after all, inside numbers did say that this was performing a little bit better, not only with the stroke but also on the face. So I know we're going to be hitting a very similar putt here, but if we talk about numbers inside, this was again a little bit better. Is that grip? Is that grip on there which lines up a little bit more with the face? Again, a good golfer, we'll give him that on this occasion. Richard Jones, this is his putter, and again he says obviously he did obviously like the look of the square to square, but the grip did put him off a little bit. So obviously it's all those little details, and again you can get fitted for the square to square putters down at Waterfront, but realistically, percentage wise, you're not supposed to hold a lot of putts. For you as a mid-handicap golfer, getting rid of your 3 putts, which these certainly can do, could help you lower your scores. But has putting really changed? Next week we are going to be testing these against the latest and greatest, the original answer, and the putter that is in the world #1's hands, the Spider putter. Has it really changed? Will they perform better, or is there really a revolution going on?